It's Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with three things you need to know. Could a trade for Dorance Armstrong be in the works? Also, an injury update on Jamal Adams. His return could be very soon. And is Jake Bobo a lock to make the Seahawks 53-man roster? We'll examine that. But first, let's begin with Dorance Armstrong. New details have emerged from a report that we told you about a few weeks ago from ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano about speculation if the Seahawks could potentially make a move for Dorance Armstrong. Armstrong, of course, is a solid player with the Dallas Cowboys defensive end. He's been there for a few years, former product out of the University of Kansas. We know that the Seahawks have been talking about trying to do something with that defensive line. Could Dorance be on his way to Seattle? Well, according to Graziano's report, remember this story. Graziano said the Seahawks were lacking veterans on the defensive line. That's no secret. Everybody knows that. And remember, Jarran Reed ended up moving to the nose tackle spot to try to help out that position. That was one of the things that the Seahawks did at the beginning of training camp, and seems like they're pretty well set on that being the case. But from Graziano's report, what was interesting was he said that the Seahawks are going to depend on a lot of young guys, which is very true. And that those young players, the Cam Youngs, the Mike Morrises of the world, Graziano made a point of saying, don't expect those rookies to jump in and excel right away, that the Seahawks need to upgrade or have a backup plan of some sorts, and Dorance Armstrong could be the solution that they're looking for. But then, after that was out by Graziano, we found out from Mike Fisher of SI's Cowboys Country a little bit more what was going on with the Seahawks. Listen to this. ESPN's Dan Graziano is among those suggesting ideas like this. The NFL insider setting Seattle as a potential trade partner. Problem. A source inside the Seahawks tells CowboysSI.com that Seattle is presently satisfied with its group. So no trade. How about that? We're just going to kill the rumor like that? Couple things that I take away from that. Number one, Seahawks satisfied with their D-line group. That's a big deal. That they're confident they're okay because, granted, it's small sample size, a couple preseason games. But the run defense has still been an issue. Although this group looks improved, it is pretty obvious if you're watching film and watching the way the Seahawks play that the interior of the defensive line is still an issue. It hasn't been fixed for this Seahawks team. Although it's maybe better than what we anticipated, it's not necessarily solved. So that's interesting to hear that Seattle is just satisfied. Okay, all right then. Number two, I'm a huge fan of Dorance Armstrong. I, as many people know, attended the University of Kansas, covered the Kansas Jayhawks football program while I was there, and I got to see Dorance Armstrong from the very beginning of his college career, and he's one of the best college football players I ever saw in person. You talk about the impact he had. This guy already had his picture up on the stadium like he was one of the all-time greats before he even played his junior year at Kansas. I like Dorance. But he isn't necessarily what the Seahawks are looking for. If you were to make a trade for a guy that's been a good football player, contract's workable, $5 million, with a potential out at the end of this year. He's played in a lot of games, 76 to be exact. Dorance isn't a bad player at all, but where the Seahawks are at, they need interior help. Dorance doesn't help that issue. Does he help the D-line? Sure, but the bigger issue is the interior. Dorance doesn't do anything to provide relief for that. There's other guys I'm more interested in for Seattle than Dorance Armstrong necessarily. So I'm with the experts here on this. I don't see a trade here. More on Dorance Armstrong. Some statistics here for you. 33 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He was great last year. No one's denying how great he is. And you look at his trade value, you could get him pretty cheap. 5th-round pick is all it would take to get there. But this is not what the Seahawks need. Should they make a move? Yes. Dorance isn't what the Seahawks are necessarily looking for, at least what they should be looking for, in my opinion. So with that, here's the question I want to know today. Do the Seahawks need to make a big move before week 1? Like getting a big-time nose tackle or another playmaker of some sorts. What do you think? I know we've talked about potential moves maybe involving the likes of Darrell Taylor or Mike Jackson and others. What do you think? Do the Seahawks need to make a big move? Get in that comment section. I want to see at least 30 people in the comment section chiming in on this and let me know what you think. Y for yes, in for no. Do the Seahawks need to make a big move before week 1? Weigh in. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Jamal Adams, could he be making his return very soon? Well, according to Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, he provided an update on Jamal Adams and his status and was very optimistic about what's ahead for Jamal Adams, as it looks like things are going very well. We could ultimately see Jamal Adams potentially return as early as this week off the PUP list. Listen to this. Carroll said even today, Wednesday, the time of this recording, could be as early as today that Adams comes off PUP. Returning from a torn quad injury, as last year we saw him miss pretty much all of last season. Played that first game against the Denver Broncos, was not able to play since. According to Carroll, if Adams comes back, he would be able to go through walkthroughs immediately. Not full-on contact, but at least he would be able to do that. He would eventually be eased into practice. It would be a slow process, but he would work his way back on the football field with what the Seahawks and their medical staff have in mind here. And he's not been rolled out for week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not saying that he is going to play either. It's a work in progress, but certainly a step in the right direction as far as Jamal Adams goes. It's good to hear that Jamal is making this progress, that he's heading the right direction. We've been waiting for that news for a long time. And think about this. With the depth that's been shown at safety throughout training camp and in the preseason, with the likes of Julian Love added to the mix, Kobe Bryant now in the fold here, you have some flexibility. The updated depth chart for now, Jamal Adams, until he's fully healthy, is listed as a backup, but obviously he'll be back to being a starter when he gets fully healthy here. But all of a sudden, you have some flexibility to do some different things. Maybe Kobe Bryant goes back to corner. Maybe you play 3 safeties, do a 3-high safety look with Diggs and Love and Adams. Maybe you play Adams some at linebacker. You have flexibility to do a lot of things that you couldn't do before with Jamal Adams. That's a big deal. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt again, because this changes everything for the Seahawks defense, having Jamal Adams back there. Another injury note. We told you a few days ago about Jordan Brooks, of his progress when he got removed from the PUP list, came back, and has been working his way back to full speed. Well, now he's all good. He's fully cleared and ready to go, and he's expected to play week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams after that ACL injury that he suffered. Isn't that crazy? 8 months ago, suffered an ACL injury, and all of a sudden we're already talking about Jordan Brooks being back for week 1. Amazing. Just remarkable by Jordan Brooks to show the intestinal fortitude to get to this point, but then also the medical staff to make this happen. Incredible job. Excited to see what Jordan Brooks does in 2023. As far as Jamal Adams goes, what's your confidence level in Jamal staying healthy? What do you guys think? Be real with me. You can give this a low number if you want. If you're optimistic, go ahead and give it a high number. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Scale it for me. What's your confidence level in Jamal Adams staying healthy? Let us know in the comment section 1 through 10 what your confidence level is. Today's show is brought to you by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Seahawks125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free at checkout, chatsports.com/bet with promo code Seahawks125. Odds are out for your Seahawks taking on the Green Bay Packers this weekend. Seattle is an underdog against Green Bay. The Packers, 3-point favorites, over-under sitting at 40. If you want to bet on this game as well as the rest of the preseason, maybe a little MLB action on your Seattle Mariners, or if you want to get some bets in on soccer, motorsports, golf, and more. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Enter the promo code Seahawks125 to get your bets in now at chatsports.com/bet. Final note before we wrap up today. Got to tell you about the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Bobo, the rookie undrafted free agent out of UCLA. Morale is high about Jake Bobo after what he's done in the preseason as well as throughout training camp, and everything's looking good for this guy to make the roster at this point in time. Pete Carroll, weighing in on Bobo, said Jake's flying pretty high right now. He's done great. He's just done well in the few plays in the game. He's done well in practice throughout. He's been really steady. Like, it's not a surprise to see him play like that in the games. We were thrilled to see what would happen because he's been making plays out here. It looks like he's been part of the flow to me. I don't see any reason why we would think different. Pete Carroll used 4 words in particular to talk about Bobo, and he said these things: consistent, tough, smart, savvy. I love hearing all those words to describe a football player, and especially Jake Bobo here. Welcome to the Jake Bobo experience. He's a roster lock at this point. I'm all in. Jake Bobo is going to be in Seattle for a while. Get used to it. The Jake Bobo train carries on. And what he's done in this preseason has been nothing short of fantastic. 5 catches, 98 yards, nearly 20 yards of reception, and a 29-yard long. Bobo's been great, and I would argue his best football is still yet to come. I do have a bit of sad news for the hashtag more Bobo movement. Bobo's been so good that he actually might not play this weekend against Green Bay. There's speculation, sounds like they might just say, you know what, Jake, we want to keep you healthy and you're on the roster. No need to have you play. We've seen enough. So if you wanted more Bobo, you're going to get more Bobo in the regular season. Maybe not this weekend, but hey, we'll take whatever we can get from Jake Bobo. So without further ado, as we finish off today's show, I want you to get in the comments section and let's show some love for Mr. Bobo himself. You want more Bobo? Tell me in the comments section. Spam hashtag more Bobo and show some love for Jake in the comments section. I'm so thrilled to have him in Seattle. It's been a lot of fun to see what he's done already. The best is yet to come. Let's get fired up. Spam more Bobo in the comments. Let's go. For more Seahawks coverage, stay tuned right here to Seahawks Today as we're talking about your Seattle Seahawks each and every day with daily news and rumors. Got our watch party coming up this weekend. Subscribe now for free, turn on notifications, and I will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.